Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Magnus, and today we're going to connect the radio server to the MDS. And this is actually an MDS that we will take into production within our own environment. So this is Firewall Management 16. Yeah, you heard me right, 16. And when it comes to the user management within MDS, normally you want to have something like a radius or a TACAX integration. But when it comes to MDS especially, if you go to permissions and administrators and try to add some sort of admin here. So if you try to add an admin and let's call him Magnus, I have the possibility to select radius here, but I cannot select which radio server I should actually use. And just a comment here, you're unable to map this to AD. So even that Checkpoint can build rule base on AD groups and so on, you can actually not administrate a Checkpoint environment from an AD group. And frankly, that sucks. So imagine for us that we have, well, 16 MDSs. That means that we have quite a lot of people actually managing this and making rules and so on. So I actually need to create user accounts for each and single one of them. I don't need to care about their password and so on because I can map it to radius and then map it to an AD group. So have the passwords and so on synced to the Active Directory. But it would be far better if Checkpoint actually can fix so you can connect this directly to an Active Directory and map a user group and not an account. And even if you map an user group, you can still have the permission profiles. I mean, that doesn't change. So instead of this one being a username, I think this should be a path to a specific group if you're mapping it to LDAP or Active Directory. So if Checkpoint is listening to this, please just fix this. It has been a hassle for a long time. And it's even more hassle if you have multiple management stations because then you need to do this integration in all. Because an MDS doesn't scale enough for a big service provider. Because an MDS you can maybe run, theoretically you can run 250 CMAs, but in practice maybe you can run 100. So if you have more than 100 different CMAs or different customers, you need more MDSs. So this is the reason why we have more. And well, please fix this. But let's go on to the video and try to fix this. So to actually get up the radius selected server here, we need to go under the global domain. So let's press cancel here and domains. And we go to global and we connect to the global domain. And here we will create two host objects. We will create two radius objects and we will put them in a group. And then we will be able to log into the management station in the GUI with the new account. So this is the global policy for this specific management station. So what we need to do is go into new and then more. And you see here you have server. Here you have radius. And if you have TACAX, you can do the same way. It's actually first in R81 that you can actually have multiple TACAX server and connect them to a group so you can have redundancy. Before this was only limited to radius. So when we do objects that is global, I normally do a G and then we just do radius 1. And we need to select here. And as we haven't had the host as an object yet, we need to create an host object. So new host. And here we will put in an IP address. And I will filter some of the IP addresses because, well, this is actually a production environment. So radius, server, and I will filter this out. And here we need to put in the key, the radius key. And you can, of course, select which version you're running, which protocol and so on you're running, but just keep it simple, or we keep it simple here to just have this working for this demo. So, okay. And then we will do the second one. do the same. So radius, and we will do G server radius 2, and we will create an object for it. G, oh, sorry. Let's do like this, because let's try to keep it similar at least. I think we did call it like this. So new object, radius server 2. And if I just put the IP here, so now I don't need to filter as much. So let's take the password again, like this. And new and server radius group. So G group radius. And now I'm adding the two different radius servers. Okay. And then you just need to publish. So you don't need to install the policy because this is a global policy and it has no directly connected gateways and so on. So now this is all done within the global policy. So let's go back to the MDS. And just as a verification, you see here that we have admin is the only account that we have. And if I try to, I don't need to show you that I cannot log in, but I will create a new user. And this needs to match the username that you have in your Active Directory or in that specific group. And now I will select radius. And you see here, now I can actually select this one specific host, or I can select a group, and we will select the group. So we have a redundancy. And I will do this as a super duper admin user with full permission to the entire system. And note that effect will only take effect once you have published. So publish. So let's try to log in with my username here. So we are no longer admin, we are my username. And let's try to log in. And you see here already, I get up so I can go to the MDS and to the global. So this is working. And you can, of course, put permission profiles and so on your different users. But, well, I'm a super admin, so I need a super admin account. And just as a reference, that you have GUI access doesn't actually mean that you have access to the CLI. So if we try to log in with the CLI, with my username and password, it will not work. And this is the simple fact. So if we try to log in with the admin account again, so now we're logged in with the admin account. And if I show you the configuration here, you can actually see that we're actually missing radius commands. I have added these two commands, but I didn't remove them again. But we don't have any radius account here. So if we add the radius here, and just as a reference again, I will show you that later. But I will copy paste in there the radius stuff. So now I have copied it in, and I will just show you the commands. So you see here, this is what I added. And when you list the configuration, you actually don't see the secret. So if you just save this file, the show configuration, you need to make sure to write down your passwords because this one is not saved. Compared to like SNMP and so on, that is actually visible within the configuration or it's encrypted. So this would be nice if Checkpoint could like encrypt the password so you can actually save it in the configuration file easy and then just re-add it. But that's not how it's working. And now when we have the radius account here, we can try to log in with the CLI with my account to and you see that this is working. But I haven't added any account within the CLI. So in CLI it works. And this is just mapped to an AD group that is taking care of radius. Or that radius server is taking care of an AD group, and then the checkpoint CLI, it's asking the radius server if it's permitted to actually log in. So keep in mind here, I'm logged in with my user. If I remove my user from the multi-domain, the GUI, I'm logged in with, sorry, I need to be with admin, so I kick myself out there. And now I'm logged in with admin, and I delete this one, and I publish. And just as a reference, or to show you that it's actually working, or not working, so to say, I try to log in, and this will fail. So authentication failure, because I don't have an account. But if I try the same, so I do exit here, so I'm logged out. So if I try the same with logging in with my account, and keep in mind, this time I actually have the radius servers, because the radius servers are in the CLI. So connect, and I type my username and my password, and you see, I'm logged in. So the GUI and the CLI is not correlating to each other. So how about the web GUI? Well, let's try. So here's the web GUI for the same server. I will try with my username. So we have the radius server configured in the Gaia portal in English, but we don't have it within the GUI. So to log into the Gaia portal, this one, you need to have it configured within radius within CLI. I think you can configure it here somewhere. User management. Yeah, so you can configure it here within the authentication servers, and you can add your radius servers here, and well, then it should work as well. But I normally add it within CLI because it just goes faster. I copy paste it in. But as I said, to log into the Gaia portal and to the CLI, you need to have it within the show configuration here. And you can either add it in CLI, or you can add it in the GUI if you prefer that way. But to log into this portal, to actually be able to manage the rule base, you need to have it within the administrator folders on your MDS. So let's add myself back. And radius, and then group radius, and multi-domain super user. Okay, publish, and let's try to log in again. So change my username here. And I'm prompted so I can log in. So this was a short introduction of how radius actually work within MDS, and it works the same with the gateways. If you want to be able to log into the gateways with CLI, it's not enough that you have an account that you can log into the dashboard or to the smart console. You need to have the radius connected within the gateway itself. So this is really important to think about, that you actually need to add the radius server both in the console, and you need to add it on the gateways and on the management service within CLI or in the GUI. Because you should have unique accounts for each and single person, and it's not good to use generic accounts, and this is standard, well, best practice, so to say. And just as a reference as well, it's not easy to add like a two-factor, like SMS or something like that, because Checkpoint actually don't have, like, so you have username, password, and a two-factor, or a OTP, one-time password. I think that's a shame, and I think that's something that Checkpoint needs to actually add. And when it comes to the web GUI management, they really need to fix so you can map the users for admins within the rule base, at least for Vue, to an AD group. Currently, that doesn't exist. You need to add every single user within this dashboard or within this console. So if you have 60 administrators, you will need to add 60 accounts. If you have 60 administrators and you have 10 MDSs, you need to add it on each single MDS. So there can be a lot to do if you have many administrator and a large environment, and I hope that Checkpoint will fix something to make this easier. Maybe a top level MDS that can actually control like the accounts and so on. That would be nice. Or just map it to Active Directory, because we know that you can map Active Directory from your CMAs and so on and build a rule base. So why not just fix it in the admin stuff as well? So sorry for ranting a bit, but well, that's how it is on the channel. And if you want to see more of this, please like the video and maybe consider to subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye.